We're back inside of Minecraft Create. To begin this video, we are actually going to start to finish off some projects because I do actually want to work on something over in that direction today. But there are quite a few things we have to do beforehand. The first thing I actually do want to try and do is get a path so we can have a path going from here up to the actual crop farm, and then from the crop farm over to the tree farm. And I can also connect it over to all that over there as well. But off camera, I did add a new mod to the actual world. And that mod is the trowel mod. This basically adds an item to the game that you can use to basically place down any blocks that is in your hotbar. So if I quickly just grab the resources we actually need, it is literally just 2 iron and a stick. So now basically what you have to do, as you can see, I have rough dirt, sanded dirt, and also dirty gravel. If I now place it down, as you can see, it randomly places the blocks in my actual hotbar. So we can actually use this to build a path that is more randomized than having to actually do the blocks ourselves. The first thing that's actually going to happen is the path is going to go up towards this direction, but I actually want it to go straight right here. Because I think I want our actual nether portal to go within the wall right here. And then we can obviously decorate it later on to make it look more like a cave. And then the path can connect up to here. I'm going to make it out of just grass path for now. And then I'll go through and obviously break that and replace it. And I think I want the actual path to go up in this direction. So it will kind of just slope up this hill. There we go. Currently the path goes from right there. It goes to the actual tunnel right there, which we'll have for our nether portal. It then goes up the actual cliff right here to about here, which it then turns to go to where we'll have the storage system for this actual crop farm. And then I think I want it to go that way because we are going to have quite a lot built in that direction. And then I think from about maybe here, we're going to have it maybe loop around and then up to that over there. So I've actually just decided what I think we're actually going to do. I think we're going to destroy what we have up there of the actual crop farm. And I think we're then going to have an entrance behind our nether portal. So our nether portal, for example, will go right here. Then behind this, why am I missing some? Okay, it's because it's bigger. And then behind here, we'll have a entrance that goes into multiple rooms where we have a load of different farms. One for sugarcane, bamboo, carrots, wheat, potatoes. There's going to be a lot of this going everywhere because obviously we're going to have a load of different sources going to all the different farms. So I think just having it underground is going to be a lot easier, and it will save us a lot of time as well. There is also pillagers that have spawned around us again. I don't want to get rid of you because you are going to give me the bad omen effect. I did have a lava bucket somewhere. I do still have it, so I can quickly just set you on fire. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. But before we can actually do that, I am going to need better tools because our current tools are not enchanted and they are both almost broken. So I guess let's jump into a cave to try and find some diamonds so we can then get some diamond armor and also some diamond tools. So I've now actually finished mining and I'm now back at the base. We got 16 diamonds, which also plus them 8 takes up to a total of 24, which will actually get us a full set of diamond armor. I do need to go and get the villagers and start trading with them so we can get mending and stuff like that. And I think that's one of our next goals. But before we do anything else, let's quickly just make the diamond armor. So let's quickly just take off that rubbish armor and throw on the decent armor. The crate goggles can come off for a second because I actually found a few things while caving and I quickly just want to try something as I'm not actually too sure if this is going to work, but it's worth a try. First thing I actually want to do, if I quickly just head down in this direction, there should be a big open cave. There is. I should have really brought a shield with me, but that's totally fine. And this is exactly where I want it to be. Inside of this geode, because obviously this is where you can get amethyst from. And inside of vanilla Minecraft, you can't actually pick up these blocks. If you break them, they get destroyed and don't drop anything. But within Create, you can actually pick up blocks using like minecarts and stuff like that. So I've got the resources I need to do this, and I want to see if it works with budding amethyst. I'm not actually too sure if it will though. So the first thing you need to do is place down a rail, and then you need to place down a cart assembler, and then you need to place down a minecart. And then I think you need to power it with any source. That did just get lifted up by a bit, and then I think I need to click this. They're saying a mystical force is binding the cart contraption to the world, so I'm guessing that means we can't actually pick it up. and that's stopping it from being picked up. That's the only thing I can think of, because this works with things like spawners and stuff like that. And it's definitely not working. It ain't because I've got torches in my offhand. There is other things I do want to try. If we quickly just head in this direction, there's another geode right here. So there is actually a deep dark around here, as you can see by little patches of skulk right there. But up here, there should be like a bigger part of the cave. And I actually want to see if we go and pick up a skulk shrieker, if that is something you can actually do. I want to know, does it keep the can summon tag? Because obviously within vanilla Minecraft, shriekers that you pick up, they remove that tag so they can't summon the warden. There is a shrieker down here. I quickly just need to... Okay, we don't actually have anything to block this off. I guess we're going to have to quickly just break a lot of the actual sensors. So I did bring a lot of iron with me, so I can actually quickly just craft one. There we go, an iron hoe. That should definitely be fine for now. So I need to get rid of all the sensors as quickly as possible before the actual thing does activate, which I think that should be good. There is these final ones down here. We might actually activate it again, and we did. I'm hoping that should be them all gone before the warden spawned, and it seems like it might be. It seems like there's one more up there, and then we should be good. I really love... Okay, there is also another one right there. There we go. That should be fine now. I also love how the darkness effect within these shaders goes more of like a mist than a blindness. Anyway, let's now see if we can actually pick this up. So if I quickly just look at this, you can see that the can summon down there is set to true. So if we pick this up, which it works exactly like we did with the budding amethyst, where we put that, and then we put the minecart. We then need to power this, which lifts it up by a little pixel, and then we need to wrench it. There we go. We have the minecart contraption right here. Then we need to, I think, break that and break that, and then we should be good. Now let's quickly just see. If I move it up here, for example... does it keep the actual tag? So I think we just need to do that. And then we need to break the minecart, I believe. That's all you have to do. Although this could be wrong. Yep, there we go. And does it have the No, it's set it to false. That sucks. So that doesn't work either. We're now back up at the surface. And the first thing I'm actually going to do before we do anything is I'm going to go and try and trade with some villagers. So we are going to need some lecterns, which we have some leather right here. We also have some paper, although I don't think that's going to be enough. Oh, it's an iron golem. I don't know why, but it looked a bit like a sheep crossed with a cow from this sort of angle. So currently it's been about 10 minutes, and I currently only have mending. This guy sells mending for 12. I know it can be cheaper, but 12 is kind of cheap, so I've just sell it. I have also got a Fletcher here, which I'm just trading a load of sticks because we do obviously have the wood farm. And I'm now just trying to get unbreaking. Once we have unbreaking, then that is hopefully villagers done for now. I kind of gave up trading with the villagers because I just couldn't get unbreaking. So I actually came back here and started digging out. And as you can see, I have actually dug out 3 rooms. All the rooms are 9 blocks by 9. So it's a square. And then 3 blocks thick, or 3 blocks tall. And as you can see, I've dug out 3, and I have also dug out 1 over here just so I could see how they would match up, and it is literally just a 1 block gap between them. The first farm I actually want to build is a sand farm, because we can then use the sand to make a few different things. But to actually get sand, we need to use these mechanical crafters. I'm going to temporarily place them right here. So if I do that and then build these, how big does it actually need to be to make the sand? I'm not actually too sure because we need to make the crushing wheels, which, yeah, as you can see, requires these. So it needs to be 5 blocks by 5 blocks. There we go. As a temporary source of power, I have literally just done this, which is a large cogwheel, and then to change the direction, I've added another large one. And then that goes into these, which by the looks of it, they are all actually spinning, which that means it should work. So let's actually quickly just break this because we don't want it spinning just yet. So I think I now have everything I need to craft this. So the stone goes in the middle. I think diorite counts as stone. It then goes the planks around the edge, and then it goes these around like that, missing the corners. At least I don't think the corners should be there. So that is how it should work. Now, if I actually place down that, does that do anything? It does. Okay, it is. As you can see, it is slowly pushing everything together. which I think that means it's working. Although I'm not 100% sure, although it has missed these side ones. Why is that? Yeah, that didn't work. Why did it miss these side ones? So I think this should now actually work. I'm not too sure, but this is a lot more confusing than it actually needs to be, I think. So you basically need it all to go into a certain direction, and I've just used the wrench to spin it around. As you can see, it spins the direction that the actual things go into. So now if I fill all these up, they are all directed to the actual center block right here. So I think that now means it should work, but once again, I have no clue. It might not. So there we go. It's all filled up and it all seems to be moving in towards each other. So please say this actually works. That's perfect. And is that actually going to give us the crushing wheels? It seems to be doing something. I don't actually know what it is doing though. It seems to just be going up and down. Okay, do I now need to wrench this so it goes to the actual bottom there? Maybe. There we go. So is that now going to pop off? What is it doing? Okay, it's doing something. There we go. It's giving us the actual crushing wheels. Perfect. That was way more confusing than I think it had to be. Well, it's been a few days since I actually last recorded, and that is because I've actually scrapped the farm we was building over there, and I've decided to build it over here. This is where our actual factory is going to go. I'm going to build a big massive building around this eventually, but I think that what I had over there, I just couldn't get it to work. So this one right here was designed by Tyra Law. I will have their actual channel linked in the description, as this is very simple. It's also not that big, which is kind of good. And if I quickly just test it, I haven't actually tested it yet, so I'm not too sure if it works. But if we quickly just flick that, that should start spinning that, which obviously spins this. And basically how this works is, as you can see, cobblestone is generated right here. The cobblestone is then milled, turning it into gravel, and I think I've actually just found a mistake. I think these are going the wrong way. There we go, it's now working. I now have it going the correct way. How it works is that the actual gravel then goes into these chests, which then, as you can see, it's got a actual, if I quickly just break this block, there is actually a fan, which has a chance to turn it into flint or iron, which then goes into these, which obviously then, that shouldn't be in there. The gravel should though. Which then, as you can see, goes into these two, which has a chance to make andesite alloys. If we quickly just leave it for a second, we should eventually see that it does actually start to work, because I'm pretty sure this one right here makes andesite. And then the andesite goes into here to make andesite alloys. At least that's what I think happens. I think the current reason for it not working is there's no actual lava up there. So we need to actually wait for the lava to generate first. Okay, so the lava has just filled up in that cauldron. And as you can see, it has now been sucked out into that. And it's actually working. Okay, that's kind of good. This should make, I'm pretty sure, andesite. And yeah, as you can see, it's now gone over here, which is mixing up the andesite and the iron, which then should, I believe, go into this chest as andesite alloys. If we quickly just check, 7 already. Okay, this is actually a lot faster than I thought it would be, but this is actually a really good way to get them. Although the main problem at the moment seems to be the lava, but I think that's just because I've only just started the farm, and over time the lava should supply itself. But this is definitely a really good farm. Once again, if you do want to build it, the tutorial will be linked in the description, as it's quite a good farm, and by the looks of it, it does actually produce a decent amount of andesite alloys. So I've now just broke all the blocks that are not needed, so the farm only has the blocks that are needed for it to actually work. I do also maybe need to change out them trapdoors for warped or crimson, just so we don't have the fire on top, although it does actually look really cool. But we're also going to leave this for a while to see how many we have when we come back. What I want to do now is I actually want to start working on basically the layout of the building that's going to go around this. So I have cobblestone as our temporary block for now. I also do quickly just want to show you, if I head up here, I have also destroyed the building that we built up here just because it's not needed anymore. I have still got this for now because I think I do still want to have a power source going down behind the nether portal, because I think we're going to build like crop farms under there, especially sugarcane and bamboo. Now let's mark out where I actually want to put this. So we're going to need a few blocks between the chest and the wall, because obviously we are eventually going to need a pipe or something to take this to a storage system. So let's say maybe 2 blocks should be fine. And then we also want a gap between here and the wall, so we can walk down here to see if everything's working. And if we need to make any changes, then we have that place to walk. So I would say maybe 3 blocks for that. So I think the best way to do this, I could just mark out 50 blocks, obviously by doing something like this. But I think the best way to do this is using coordinates. So this is 317. So we need to go to 367. And 367 is this block right here. It does obviously come over the cliff a little bit, but we will have to do some terraforming to fix that. So for this to meet 80 blocks, we need to make it to minus 564, I believe. So let's just run down here until we meet that coordinate. And that is right about here. So let's now quickly just dig out this. We are obviously going to have to go through and remove some of the terrain and also remove some of the trees. So this is roughly the middle. We have, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. And I actually think we want to make this about 9 blocks. So then that's 6, that's 7, that's 8, and then that is 9. Because we're going to have a big massive door here, which is going to obviously open and close using create. The one final thing I want to do within this video is I want to build the door. The doors will go right here. They're going to be double doors and they're going to be completely powered by create. So I think I have everything I need to actually get this working. The first thing I think we need to do is place this right here. This is obviously what's going to spin the doors around. So for now, let's just build the doors out of cherry. I think I am also going to have to glue these, otherwise it won't work. And the doors are going to be 5 blocks, and then there will be another door right here that is also 5 blocks. And as for how tall this is going to be, I'm not actually too sure. I don't know if these blocks have a limit to how many blocks they can pull like pistons do. Let's try something like that for now as the door. Obviously, I might mess with the shape and that afterwards. So now let's see how I can actually get this to work. If we have, let's say, a pressure plate in the center 2 blocks. So if I just grab some dirt and throw this right here. Let's say the pressure plate to open the door will be right there. Now these are framed pressure plates, so we can actually put any block inside them. And I've actually just put grass blocks, so it will kind of blend in with the floor so you don't really see them there. And then the next thing we actually want to do is go down here and place down a redstone link, which we can then set this to maybe both having cherry in them. So now that's done, we can then quickly just build out of here. And we're going to have another one down here. Now let's place down this sequence gear shift right there. And that should, in theory, power the actual block above it. Let's also quickly just place down this right here. So this should have cherry in both of them as well. And I now need to set this. So we want it to turn 90 degrees. Okay, here we go. So we want it to turn 90 degrees. We then want it to actually delay by, I would say, we want it enough to actually get through. So let's maybe delay it by, say, 12 seconds. And then we want it to turn back by 90 degrees. So we want this to be minus 90, I believe, for it to basically shut again. Let's quickly just set that. How do I make it so it sets back? Okay, there we go. Is that? So I believe this should work. So it now turns by 90 degrees. It then has a delay of 12 seconds. And then it turns back by 90 degrees. And then it ends, which is exactly what we want. So now the next thing we actually need to do is just go and grab a actual wrench so we can make it so that other redstone link is inverted. Actually, we don't need the wrench. We can just actually shift click on it, which as you can see, that is now done. Let's actually try this out. If I step on this pressure plate, nothing happens. Why is that? I think I now actually understand why it don't work. I think it needs to have power. So let's quickly just check. And as you can see, we almost have 4 stacks of andesite alloys. We do have a lot of gravel. Let's just take maybe half a stack of that because we are going to need a lot of these. 55 should definitely be enough. Because what we're going to need to do now is actually move this from here over to there. So I think just by having a vertical gearbox right here, which then goes all the way underground. So I've now dug the tunnel. We just quickly need to run back so I can actually throw a gear shift right there and then a actual vertical gearbox right there. And then now this needs to basically just connect all the way over to here. So let's make sure we actually place them all down. Then this needs to have a gearbox like so, with then a vertical gearbox, I believe, to make it so it goes up. It seems I am going to have to go and grab one more gearbox because we are going to need a vertical gearbox to go from that into that. I'm not going to lie, I actually love the fire from this sort of angle. It looks kind of like a chimney, so maybe eventually we might have to actually add some sort of chimney to this factory. It will definitely obviously make sense, and I think we could make it look really cool. But from standing over where our normal base is, I love just the fire flames, especially with the shaders. I now also have the vertical gearbox, so let's now quickly just place that. Is there any blocks on that? There is. I want to actually remove that just so it doesn't actually activate until we are ready for it. So now if I place that right there, that is now spinning that. It is also spinning that. That's perfect. Let's quickly just make sure it is also spinning down here. And it is. It is very slow. We might have to increase that if it is too slow in opening. So upon actually stepping on this pressure plate, the door should now open. It does. I wouldn't say that's too slow. I would actually say that's a okay speed. So now after about 12 seconds, it should close again. Let's just wait a sec to make sure that is the case. That's why it never closed. I didn't actually reset this after I broke it. And if I quickly test it, so let's just power it. It's opening. There will also be one right here, so it will like be a double door opening. There we go, it's opened. In about 12 seconds, it should close again, which hopefully it does close the correct direction this time. Which I'm hoping it does. If it doesn't, it does. Okay, is it going to stop when it's closed? And it seems like it does. That's perfect. The next thing to do is build another one of these right here. I am going to need another one of these sequences because obviously we don't want it to copy this one because we want it to do the other direction. I have now actually got it all working, hopefully. I haven't actually tested it out yet, but both doors are now in place. I just obviously need to make sure they both spin the correct directions and close at the same time. So let's quickly just head up. I also need to build the actual second door, which I forgot about, so let's quickly just do that. So now is the time to test. If I step on this, okay, this one opens out the wrong direction, so I do need to fix that, but that should be an easy fix, and there is also no delay on this one closing. Okay, that's perfect. So let's quickly just see if I can fix that. That should be a very simple fix. The reason is I done it to 12 ticks rather than 12 seconds. So let's quickly just make that 12 seconds. There we go. There we go. That now should be perfect if I quickly just grab one of these actual dirt blocks. So now if I step on these, as you can see, it opens up. That is perfect. I really like how it opens. It's not too slow and it's also not too quick. And then in a second, in about 12 seconds, it should close, which that is the next thing. If that works, then these doors are working exactly how I want them to. And there we go. They both close at the same time. Do they actually both stop when they close? They do. Okay, that actually works really well. And for anyone who wants to know how this works, underneath these two pressure plates, we have 2 pieces of redstone. If I quickly just show you, the 2 pieces of redstone are under the actual pressure plate. So when either of them are stepped on, they will activate the redstone link right there. And then if we head over in this direction, you will see that the redstone link is here, inverted, sending a signal over to this redstone bearing, and also sending a signal to this one, which then, as you can see, is powered there. And then we just have this going over to power that one over there as well. And then if you do want to know what the delays are, as you can see, this is what this one is. And in this one right here is exactly the same. There are no actual differences. So I didn't actually need 2 redstone gears. So now let's just fill in all of them holes. And I want to see this work one more time. So let's step on these. As you can see, the actual thing does open. Let's also actually quickly just do that. So, for example, we would now walk into the factory, and then the doors, maybe they should close a little bit quicker, because it does actually seem like they don't close. But yeah, as you can see, they are now actually closing. I might take the delay down a little bit. So instead of 12 seconds, it's maybe about 8 or 5 seconds, because 12 seconds I think is a little bit too long. Anyway, that is where I'm going to end this video. If you enjoyed, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, where we'll start work on this factory, hopefully finishing it, if not getting it nearly done. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.